everyone. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for stopping by. It is always great to see you. And happy 4th of July to those of you that are in the States. I hope you get an opportunity to celebrate, fire up the grill, throw back some cold pop, and enjoy some fireworks. But if you must handle them yourself, please be safe because you don't want to end up with some really nasty burns like I created with Elmer's glue in this tutorial. And let's just get to it. To make skin, I'm using a PVA glue, which is a polyvinyl acetate. It is a water-based non-toxic glue. And here I am putting onto my arm, making sure that the edges are flat, and I'm tapping around the area to make it look like skin. I created another piece that was thinner for the hand, and using a hairdryer in a few minutes, I was able to pull this glue off of the skin. I am using alcohol-based paints from my Skin FX Illustrator palette, placing that into the area that I am going to put the burns on my face and also onto my hand. Third degree burn is the skin where the epidermis, the dermis, and some of the subcutaneous skin is affected through a burn. I wanted to have a non-latex version of a burn because the internet is flooded with how to create special effects burns, and a lot of it requires a build-up of cotton, liquid latex, or using other prosthetics that require some strong adhesives. So I thought this would be a good idea to find a way to show you how you can create the same thing using different products. Now I placed the glue onto my skin, and after I punched through this first layer of glue that I created on my arm, I go through and place that in, and before it dries I start to move back what is going to mimic the layering of skin that happens when it burns. So taking some tweezers, and please be careful about using metal around your face, and just pull back a couple of layers until you get those big spots of skin that goes through the layer of the epidermis. I tap in more glue around the pieces on the edges to get those put into place, and it takes it hardly no time to dry. I really do love this. This is the first look that I ever created for a burn, which actually got me started into continuing my self-taught special effects journey. I am using the thicker piece of glue that I put on my arm because the face has more skin and more fat. And for my hand, I'm using the thinner portion, again going through and puncturing holes and making sure that I have edges that are jagged. And I place glue onto the hand where I put the coloration from the alcohol paints, and I get that covered up into the side of the hand because my idea was fireworks gone wrong, and if you're handling fireworks yourself, you have a greater chance to have injuries onto your hand and more onto the face. So please be safe out there when handling fireworks this year. Using tweezers, I go in to make sure that those holes that I punched through with my fingers are big and noticeable. I'm using the alcohol paint in the blood tone palette and making sure that I put a concentration of red into the punctured holes, and outside making sure to leave a slight separation in a blank space around the edges of the skin. I don't want to color everything red because the blistering of the skin that happens in the first and the second degree, so the discoloration has to come from first and second degree burns. And this also allows me an opportunity to take my brush and get it pushed up under the glue layer so it looks like it is actually bleeding and coming up out of the skin. I do the same thing with the arm. You can also use eyeshadow for this look. It is a great way to practice color theory when it comes to body harm and body injuries. I am using yellow to emphasize the subcutaneous level of the skin that has the fat that protects all the nerve endings, and I'm pushing that into the middle and around the edges of the wound because that skin will dry and become leathery. Using some black eyeshadow and a fluffy brush, I go through and create a smoke-like effect around the areas of the burns, concentrating it around the pushed up glue that we are using to mimic folding and drying skin. I use a Q-tip and black eyeshadow for concentration of the black onto the raised skin. This is what we want to be burned, and the effects of what skin remains becomes dead quickly, and so I go back and forth for concentration between a brush and a Q-tip. If you would like to pair your gore with some glam makeup, I do have a tutorial about this 4th of July makeup look. I love pairing glam and gore together. It's like, oh my god, it's so glamorous but yet so hideous, and it pulls you in both directions. I just absolutely love it. Using more black eyeshadow to smoke out the edges around this prosthetic piece, making sure I get some of that around the ear and down into the neck. I am using dried coffee grounds for the extra added brownish charred look into the skin by placing glue around the thick edges that we created for blistered skin, and once I tap my finger in, I go in and place it on the areas of the darkest black that I have around in this look. It's just an added little effect that I like to do, and it's really easy to do with leftover coffee grounds. Remember, when you are putting the grounds around the wounds, not to cover up all the coloration and the holes that you created. So how do you celebrate 4th of July? Do you use fireworks or do you go to a fireworks show? Let me know in the comments below. I am using Glycerin to make that subcutaneous skin glossy because it did not burn up all the way into the nerve endings. Now you can use clear lip gloss for this, or cooking oil, or Vaseline. Now I am going to be highly disappointed if I do not get any Joe Dirt or Kickin' Wing comments for this video. So here is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial today. I hope you found it useful and that you could see that you can get looks like this, not having to go out and buy expensive products. But I hope you enjoy your 4th of July this year. Please be safe. And if you like to see sneak peeks behind the scenes footage, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Those links are listed below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.